twist step. We're going to hold our ball on a T stance. We're going to part the wild horse's mane. Step out on an L, move the energy, bottom hand advances, turn the hips and waist, go up the horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, twist step. T stance with the ball. L stance. Move the energy, bottom hand advances, turn the hips and waist, part the wild horse's mane. Refreshing our memory for, we're at 3 o'clock, so that gives us a cue that we're in cloud hands. Flip the forward hand so you no longer see the palm. Join it with the back hand where you can see the palm. The hands are staggered. You're in a good Tai Chi posture, you're in a bow stance. You're going to sit back and sit down, twist step. What happens? The hands went to about 12 o'clock when we twisted. We didn't move our hands. To get out to the 9 o'clock, we're going to have to pivot on our left heel and move our hips and waist. Our hips and waist are the drivers of our body, drivers of our motion. What are we going to do? Pivot on the left heel, turn the hips and waist. There goes 9 o'clock. 2 things happen. What? Flip the hand, close the feet. 12 o'clock, stem and a cup. Turn the hips and waist out to 3 o'clock. What? 2 things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. Coming to 12, we're about 50-50 in our distribution of weight. Turn the hips and waist to 9 o'clock. What? 1 thing happens. Only flip the hands. Move the hips and waist to 12. Move the hips and waist to 3. 2 things happen. Flip the hands. Close the feet. 12 o'clock. 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands. Open the feet. At 3 o'clock, only 1 thing happens. Flip the hands. But at 12 o'clock, we shift our weight to the left and allow our right foot to be weightless and come up as a golden cockerel. Shift the weight to the right and come up as a golden cockerel. Down, shift the weight to the right. Right hand on the outside, right foot coming up, kick out, right, down, shift weight to the right, left hand on the outside, left foot coming up, kick out, left. Holding our ball on a T-stance, right hand on the bottom, right foot ready to go. Remember, we're gonna have to ward off. We have to put some martial arts in there, okay? So T-stance, step out on an L, bottom hand advances, you forearm your opponent, you push him out. You just need that space that he can't come to. Turn the hips and waist, reposition the hands, palm to palm but staggered. You're going to grasp the bird's tail by sitting back, sitting down, turning at the hips and waist, contacting at your wrist, turn the hips and waist, center of the body, push the energy through, separate the energy and roll back and sit down. Spiral up and lunge forward. Other side, sit back, sit down, twist, step. T stance, holding your ball. What are we going to do? Forearm our opponent. Here we go. Step out on an L, turn the hips and waist, bottom hand advances, push them out. Turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands, sit down, sit back, turn at your hips and waist to look back, contact, turn at the hips and waist, center of the body, push the energy through, separate your hands, roll back, sit down, store the energy so you can power him up and push him out. Closing form, sit back, sit down, twist with the left heel, pivot on the right heel to open, pivot on the right heel to close. Embrace the tiger, put the right hand inside the cross, weight down heavily on the left so you can move your right, turn at your wrists so that your palms are facing you at shoulder level. Bring the tiger closer to you slightly to get that momentum to push him out using the force of your core and your wrists. Drop your shoulders, flex your knees, tuck your elbows, put it to the thigh, left heel comes up, off the ground, toe down, arch down, closing form. Okay? How was that? A lot of work or fun? All right, let's move on to cloud hands now, okay? Cloud hands, we said, is a sideways motion as if we were walking like a crab. But each time we take a step, the toes lead the movement. The heel, it's impossible for me to lead the movement. But how am I directing my toes to move in a sideways motion, keeping parallel feet? I'm using shifting of weight. Right now, I'm at 50-50. But we already learned that only the weightless, insubstantial foot can move safely. Therefore, when I want to move my left foot, I have to keep all my body weight on my right. What did I do? I ground it down, I flexed my knee to allow the opposite foot to be on its toe. At 100%, I should be stable. Then I can open, put my toe down, and slowly come down to 50-50. Right now I'm 50-50. So this foot now becomes the weighted foot. Therefore, I slowly gain the weight, lose the weight of the opposite on the toe, make sure I'm firm, then close my foot. Then shift my weight here, bring it up here, so on and so forth, okay? So we're gonna crab walk and do it as a drill so we understand how our feet operate before we start our hands, okay? So going to the left first, okay? But again, every time we do Tai Chi posture has to be enacted and kept that way. Because if you get out of Tai Chi posture and you do a movement, no matter how great you think you're doing it, because that's what teacher said, if the posture is incorrect, it's probably not good for your body to move in that way, okay? It could be corrected and done in a healthier way, all right? So we said that we would learn how to be clouds by just using our feet. So ragdoll, drop that shoulder, making sure that our feet are well grounded. This time we're gonna shift our weight from our left to our right. Why? Because we're gonna crab walk out to the left. Do not just plop that foot down. Come down slowly. Come up slowly. Alternating. Ground down, make sure that it's at least flexed a little bit. Close. Slowly. Reverse. Open. So in this process, you're saying, wow, it's so easy. Why is she going so slowly? But you sort of miss the point. Because in doing this, you're listening to your body. You're tuned in to every detail, getting those sensations that you need to feel that you're doing it correctly. When we put our upper body together, we want to continue to feel these sensations. It's when we don't, we feel that we're going to be wobbly and insecure. All right, so we're going to take this pause here. How do we get to the other side? We do the opposite. But how do we do the opposite? If we want to get out to the right, our right foot then has to lead that motion. Therefore, it has to be a weightless foot. So right now we're 50-50. We want to move to the right. We throw the weight from our right to the left. We open, because this is stabilizing ourselves. We gradually do the up and down routine. And yes, you're saying, you know what? If I go faster, I can still do it. But Tai Chi says, do everything a little bit slower. That's how we have relaxation. That's how we enjoy the moment. That's how we are mindful of what we do. Okay? So you saw that I did not take huge steps. You saw that I didn't just plop my foot there, push it back up, plop it down. Because if you're billowy clouds, this would not be the characteristic. So you're soft and light, okay? It does build strength, it does build endurance, okay? It builds muscles. Now the upper body takes its turn. The driver of your movements are your hips and waist. Every time I move with my feet, my hips and waist turn. If they did not turn, I would not be in the optimal position. I have energy that I still am not using correctly. Therefore, besides the parallel feet and the shifting of the weight, we need to address different points. We use the clock. So when we're out at 9 o'clock for you, I will be in that direction. When I am midway, I'm in the 12. When I'm in the 3, my rotation of my spine starts to slightly rotate or revolve, and my hips and waist are directing me, okay? So this will be in line with what our hands or upper body will be doing or enhancing. So this is a slight thing going back and forth in conjunction with shifting of weight, okay? So we said the best way to do cloud hands is to put it all together at the face of a clock. So the upper hand, first of all, the hands alternate. One hand is higher, one hand is lower. The upper hand is about eye level. It's about eye level, nothing below, nothing above, about eye level. So that you can see your tips of your finger, but out into infinity. So you don't want to steady your fingers. That's not Tai Chi, but you want to look out beyond your fingers, okay? So you know what the top hand is going to address the 9, the 12, and the 3 using the tips of your finger at eye level. The bottom hand now sits 2 inches below your navel. So it can't be here because my shoulders are raised. It can't be here because I'm not in good Tai Chi posture, but I'm right here, very comfortable. And I continue to sway with my hips and waist. But what are the hands doing? They're sweeping across. At the extremity of 3 and 9, they're turning as if they were blocking somebody. They're turning and as if they're blocking someone, and they're alternating with that other hand, okay? They're like egg beaters in that one is going one way, the other one's going the other way, but essentially they're doing the same routine. You could also use this as, Ken liked to refer to it as reading the newspaper. You read the top line of the newspaper, you flip the page, you read the other side of the newspaper, flip the page, etc., okay? Just use your imagination, okay? So the distance in which you use your hands is not tight in here, not far out here, because that's going to alter your what, but just comfortably, okay? And what's happening? I'm already turning my hips and waist because I don't want to be just like this, right? I'm not using the full use of my body. I want to turn. The power of your movements lie within your hips and waist, okay? Let's turn this way. Let's practice some of that hips and waist thing, okay? So let's start this way. Left hand is high, right hand is low, okay? And we're at 1 o'clock, maybe 2 o'clock, but not 3 yet because we're not in motion. We just established 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, okay? Here we go. And your hips and waist are addressed sort of to the 1 o'clock. Move the hips and waist, drop that bottom hand, flip the top hand to the bottom. 12 o'clock, you have a stem and a cup, do you? 3 o'clock, you flip the hand, stem cup at 12, switch hands at 9, turn the hips and waist is the main thing, 12, 3. So each hand takes their turn, but something magical happens. When you turn your hips and waist, you don't have to really worry about what your hands are doing. You just set it up, and the hands go for the ride. So let's put some parameters to our hands now, okay? Now that you know that the hips and waist are driving the movement of our hands, let's see what we should really be doing or establishing. At 3 o'clock, turn that upper hand down. At 12 o'clock, the left hand has a stem. What is the stem? The arm, the upper arm, right? And you're sort of pointing to 12 o'clock. The bottom hand is near your navel or 2 inches below your navel. It could sit like this. But as we turn, the hand, the right hand cups. Change the position. Turn your hips and waist. You have a stem and you have a cup. Turn your hips and waist. Change the position. Turn the hips and waist. Stem and cup at 12. Turn the hips and waist. Change the position. So how am I changing the position? That's probably something you want. You're going to flip the hand that's up, down, and put the other lower hand up. Down hand, up hand comes down hand comes up. Just for now, okay? Just get that first. Change position. But each time we do it, what are you doing? Turning your hips and waist. So as if the hands are just floating. Also, in turning the hips and waist, do you feel that your feet somehow can shift its weight too? It surely can. And it'll be in conjunction to the turning of the hips and waist, okay? So let's figure out how that can happen. We said that we could advance using our feet, our toe, and we could shift our weight. So that's what we're going to try to implement with our hands and with our hips, okay? It's going to be an enhancer rather than something that's going to complicate, okay? So here we go. 50-50 on our feet. Left hand higher, right hand away. So you notice that one palm, the lower hand, the palm is away. The upper hand, the palm is always should be seen. But once it takes this rotation, the palm is no longer seen because the upper hand has that palm, okay? So we're like this, 1 o'clock. We're at 50-50, we're gonna put all the weight on our right foot. Therefore, our left foot can come up. We're gonna open. Hey, what happens? We can get to 12. Turn the hips and waist. What happens? We can get out to 9, but at 9, that's the end of the road. Therefore, we can firm down, change places with our hands, and close our feet. 12, going out to 3, we need to shift your weight and open. End of the road, change places, close the feet. What happens? Shift the hands, open the feet. Let's not think too much. Let's just shift the hands, close the feet. Remember, whenever you get out to 3 and 9, 2 things happen. And if you are using and engaging your core and using your hips and waist, this becomes a flowing motion, something natural. You don't really have to think about it. Yes or no? Change the position, change the way. I'm going to close the left. Open the right. Use your hips and waist. Otherwise, the clouds become stiff. It's as if the music is helping us with our flow, right? And each time, we're moving only when we feel safe. Let's go the other way. All this power belongs within your mind and with your system. Other way now. So you often hear that Tai Chi is good for everybody, especially seniors, because it's soft, it's gentle, there are no jarring motions. You can stop. So this is a typical move of what Tai Chi can do for you, or provide you, or give you. Hey, let's do something fancy. 3 o'clock. Shift your weight. 12 o'clock. Put the weight on the left foot, and what? Come up as a golden cockerel. Down, shift weight, come up as a golden cockerel on 12 o'clock. Okay, and that's part of the choreograph where after cloud hands we get into golden cockerel.